My name is Fury WD, and I'm gonna do this piece for you. It's called My Name Is. My name is, in fact, what's the point? You will only forget. Now, I'd rather use my last couple of breaths to tell you that I was a kid who rarely got fed. I ain't no Rasta, but my life was dread. We had to add water just so that the milk could last. Don't let that fool ya. See, I hardly got to break my fast. My life was hard. I think if you hate your past, you're less likely to plan for your future. But I feel that if in life your path is filled with glass, well, that's just something your bare feet has to get used to. You see, life abused me. Only you just see me as abusive, at the very least a weed abuser, used to dealing with users, one of those criminal UK youths you're used to seeing on the news. But do you choose to ignore the fact that I used to turn up to school bruised cause mom's boo would get high off the super drugs and stomp me with his boots? So mom used to tell me that they would take me if the socials ever knew. So by my mom, nah, in fact that term is loose cause it's more like by his wife I was groomed to be scared of telling the truth. So does that change your point of view, or are yours set? I mean, what's the point of me telling you my name if you will only forget? The craziest thing is I'm so close to death, breathing my last breath. This paramedic is pumping away at my chest, but the only thing that's going through my head is, please don't judge me by this chain around my neck. See, to you, it represents a life of crime, but to me, it represents a lifeline. See, we pawned it off but bought it back twice. Each time covered me for the nights I couldn't afford a bag of rice. So even though I'm about to permanently close my eyes, please be more open-minded, because this is deeper than the fact shallow is where you think my mind is. I think you need to value the importance of the fact some of the decisions I made, I didn't think I had a choice. You see, they forced us. I mean, we tried to run, only they caught us. I mean, now we're stacked in these high-rise flats like the slave ships in which they brought us. I mean, we thought it was just our different shades, not knowing self-hate is what they taught us. I mean, that's why so many of us hate education. Who's Chaucer? I mean, I couldn't kick ball but left school to be a baller. I mean, that's why out on these fields is where I put my all in. I mean, I might as well use football terms as an analogy of my life. You see, out here, it's their team versus mine. We lost the last shootout. They were just defending, but no, we can't let that slide. Cause out here we're governed by the strength of these white lines, fam. You should see what these fans pay for these lines, man. But damn, forget my name, stop quizzing. I mean, if only someone could premiere how I was living. At the very least, you'd be able to see how me and my rival teams compete in a league where we could all equally make peas if it wasn't for these divisions. You see, we came from nothing. All we had were ambitions. That's why every little we get, we want to put it on show. It's insecurity. I know I did everything to let guys know my clothes were cold. I mean, the first bit of pee I got, I threw it all in the car so I could feel like a Rothschild and them man are slipping. Out here we operate in postcodes. No VAR, but you don't want to get caught offside in this big man city where we watch for the ops and the cops. The judge labeled me a shooter, so I spent time in the box. Yeah, team repping will have team stressing on the wings, bro. I was literally about to lick my last shot, but that's when I got clocked doing a transfer through the window. You see, we've been low. Our yards are relegated. Sorry, that's mispronunciation. I meant to say we've been low. Our yards are rarely gated. That's why our goal is to cop a Newcastle that spurs us on to chase the papers. Ironically, that brings the totty. Things start getting dangerous when they see you up west going best believe they start hating on these streets. Geez, the atrocities we commit for this cheese. And I ain't talking red Leicester, I'm talking when we see red, we grab the type of arsenal that can open a man's chester. Man, you guessed it. Me lying in this liver pool has got me spitting this confession. I don't know where I'm heading. I mean, am I the type that God lets in? I don't know. It's got me paramedic. Maybe God will see that I failed because I was failed and let me up them steps. Maybe this is a story somebody else can tell. I hope it don't die with my death. You're gonna find my wallet in it, my provisional on it, the answer to your question plus my age and address. But give it a few days, there will be another team you failed to save, and my name, well, you will only forget. But please don't forget mine, it's Fury WD.
My name is Amaara Roze. Hello everyone, nice to see you all. I will do two pieces then. One's on my phone and one's in my book, because I am unorganized. So, the first one I wrote in response to a theatre piece that I'm working on at the moment, and it's called When Is It Okay to Give Up? So this is when is it okay to give up? When is it okay to stop fighting? Fake flattering, eye rolls screaming, leave me alone because I can't. Eye rolls that save me from, really quickly, little trigger warning. This poem talks about sexual harassment and stuff. Just I don't like to throw that on people because it can be a bit whoa! Not that you don't expect that when you go to a poetry show, because I feel like everyone just kind of trauma dumps on stage, but okay. When is it okay to stop fighting? Fake flattering, eye rolls screaming, leave me alone because I can't. Eye rolls that save me from being rolled into a body bag. Subtle eye rolls that withhold my family from getting that visit from a police officer. Eye rolls and under-breath mumbles that shout what I can't whisper. That remember. The last time when I only just got away. That last time when I realized after it was too late. That time when if someone hadn't been there to save me, I wouldn't be rolling my eyes, I'd be rolling in my grave. Because someone was too fragile to hear no. Someone was too hard to feel no, too blind to see no. See, no comes in many forms that don't leave your lips. No is in the stiffness of your hips. It's in the drooping of your head or the quietness in your voice. No is in the maybe. It's in the I'll see, in the what ifs. No is not always the word that leaves your lips. It's sometimes silence, because that is definitely not a yes. No is the hardest word and the simplest. Because to you, no means maybe. No means ask me again. To you, no means when she's 18. It means when you feel like it again. It means a stroke on the head or face and a convincing glass followed by a forceful hand. You want to force my hand. You're trying to force my hand, my mouth, to shout well-rehearsed whispers. My tongue holds the weight of the earth. My lips flowing water in synchronicity. The air in my breath ignites the fire in my words. Call me Avatar, because I bend these elements the way you break boundaries. From her pure and unpolluted flesh, violence springs. And now I'm the one that's facing consequence. I'm the one that's rude, that thinks I'm all that's butters anyway. I'm the one whose last look is a glance inside you. Darkness. How sad. I'd actually rather be butters than pathetic. Much rather be the ugly duckling than the charming wolf harming its way into the clothes of the sheep to attract more sheep. I wish you didn't mind being the duckling. Maybe then you'd understand how it feels to be preyed upon, to be stalked with eyes, feeling an attack on the horizon, and maybe then you'd do something instead of playing with your prey like toys, and maybe then you'd check your boys. Thanks, that's the first one. And the second one is also it's literally 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm just gonna do it. So, yeah. I'm angry at the generations above me because for all the things they got right on this journey called life, they missed the big, glaring sign that reads, respect is a two-way street. Why do you have certain expectations of me but don't expect the same of yourself? Example. Who are you talking to? You pay any bills in here? Oh. So you're a Tory? Good to know. Because that's what they say, ain't it? You can't have an opinion unless you pay for it, so now you become the very thing you hate. Interesting. You say, respect me. But it seems you don't even know what that means. You look in the mirror and see everything you never got, and that hurts too much. So instead you place me there, out of fear, strength, pride, and I wait around, cross-armed and teary-eyed while I try to emulate what you want me to be. How did you end up here? Did Waze show you the wrong way? You ended up on a one-way going around in curses. Now it's our duty to break those circles. I don't mind though. I can do all things, you get me. So I'll hold your hand if you walk with me. And I'll show you how much better the world can be when respect is a two-way street. Thank you.
So this is called Mirror on the Wall. I think I'm tired of healing. A new day, a new experience, a new feeling. I meet another one and realize I still gotta do some healing. It never stops. The cycle keeps coming back around, each time a different position. The transition of energy is what confuses my intuition. You see, I know this ain't right. Still turn a blind eye, all because you apologized. Now we're friends again. I have to pretend again, and this time it hurts more. I try to hold on. The hope felt sore. The mind tells me it's the last time you're gonna walk through these doors, but let's explore. It looks like drinks at the bar, empty conversations, only made it to the talking stages. If only I gave a little more. I had my reservations, cause this thing kinda looks like that thing, and I remember how those things go, and trust me, I don't wanna know. I'm so tired of healing. A new day, a new experience, a new feeling. I meet another one and realize I still gotta do some healing. It never stops. The cycle keeps coming back around, each time a different position. The transition of energies is what confuses my intuition, you see. I know this ain't right. Still turn a blind eye, all because you apologized. Yeah, this is a short one. Okay. Your enemy is just you staring in the mirror at your own reflection. Looking for perfection when all you need is connection. And correction is just your heart steering you to the right direction. I think I'm starting to get it. Love is the answer, love is the message. How many times have you said it? Thing is, I only believe when I get it. Oh, selfish really. The ego is prideful. It loves the world. To serve something greater than myself is hard when I can only see myself. You see, before you, I never understood true purpose. When you serve, that is true purpose. I saw great things, but didn't think I deserved it. I guess you're changing me. Every day I move is a new page for me. I'm working on getting to the place you saved for me. Thank you.
Baby, if these windows could talk, a whole lot of people would be in a whole lot of trouble. Out of the window, I've seen a lot of shit. I've pondered life, death, been thankful to be inside when it's pissing it down, been envious of those in the sun frolicking around whilst I'm inside the 9 to 5. I've seen ecstatic greens for short glimpses, little snippets to remind me I'm getting far, far away. I've seen big old blocks of flats, this and that, and known I'm back in the midst of it all. I've seen from smeared windows and looked out at the world in disgust, missed the muscles in front of me, but I can't be asked. Are the windows already that dirty, or is there a speck in my eye? Is it getting blurry because I'm really high? My windows have been rose tinted. When things have shone too bright, then I have squinted, catching glimpses of how beautiful it could be. I look into windows. Some seem to talk, and some have their blinds are covered in eyelashes, and some look and see you, and some look and do not see you, and in a blink, it's a new scene. We're always looking for windows our hearts can clean. Thank you. The second poem I've got time I want to read is basically about self-validating and something I really struggle with, so it was a bit of an affirmation poem writing this. The shit people won't tell you on a daily basis. You are capable of all the jobs assigned to you. Everything you need is on standby inside. If people don't see that and it doesn't come out around them, don't push harder. Push harder to be seen. Push harder into yourself. Dig your heels in deep and squeeze out all the love you have generated for yourself. Today's the rainy day you've been saving for. Under the circumstances, you are doing amazing, and only you know those exact conditions you are working in, internally and externally. Don't worry if you can't explain the pain, you know it. People forget their flaws when they're looking at yours. You forget your flaws when you're looking at theirs, so drop the microscope that's helping you cope, so don't void yourself. That is your life's work. Vent, but don't let your vision be bent by harsh words. Release and start again. But this time, it's from experience. And when no one's telling you you're doing a good job, congratulate your fucking self. And those that speculate generate hate. Don't be on the outside. Be inside your life, swimming in your lane, brimming with love. Thank you.
Freedom is inside you. Believe what you feel. Like a fog lifting across the waters, destiny is revealed. I stirring in the east drew my thoughts across lands of sand. Divided by the construction, I perform ablutions in liquid pure, so I might flow through the barren lands of closed doors. Rivers will run to the sea, mixing conspicuously. The oxygen in the smoke, the bird in the structure, the soft moss covers stone. I am never alone. The travellers come home. There is much truth in stone. There is much truth in bone. There is truth when the soul makes its way home. As life trickles through the painted veil of technologies, I breathe with shorter breaths and my anxiety increases when I face the other platform. Shuttled and carried, I storm the walls, became two and I am one. The one unsearchable, for one and one make three. On the front lines they are beginning to wilt. Winter's warning, a new era is dawning. Plastics and pins, all the deadly sins, 100 years to clear away the tears. For those summer days will come and pass, and in that hard winter slog the waters may turn to glass, frosted, no longer shimmered, as I wander on that distant figure. The mist of time live inside my mind, spiderwebs are revealed. My eyelashes collect the droplets too. I see through them, I feel you. The mist lifts with the clench of my Lord's fist. Then the sun begins, it brings the bronze clinks in. I heard the alarms in the early hours. There's a space outside of space. The ships float on seas of truth up there. Who will take the stargazer's stress? So much pride in the man in the string vest. I never met him, we never said a word, though he is the realest dancer. All the rest are chances. The city twinkles from up there in the sky. I love the creator. All around is the balance coordinator. So raise the bar. Let love keep you warm. In the simple things we begin. Moss, green trees, and sea soothe me. The buzzard glides on the trails of your guide. That spiderweb glistens, the cockerel crows, the sound of stone. The bottle drops, the saviour and the shark, guiding me in the dark. Peaceful offerings as dust softly flitters in a sunlit space. The rhythm of night, the soul-searching delight. Time flies by and meets new on the wing. Together we sing. The old times, the golden rings, the lullaby players, the old forgotten sailors, the rags to riches, the callings of lovers destined to meet, the dreams we had, the dream catchers did steal. Those simple times where lust was love, imagination is sacred art. If the offering of heather should come your way, perhaps you need reminding of the older days that never went away. To begin, I fell apart. I pieced it back together starting from the heart. The water drop slowly falls as a child swung from the cradle. This is our fable. There is no end when you place your cards on the table. So paint yourself a picture. Make it a permanent fixture. Take your time. As with each stroke, we shape the mind. Done.
How does a heart know when it's been taken?
robbed from its owner and placed on another? Was it ever really for one person alone? Because all it takes is one look at you and I'm no longer myself, but my heart suddenly gains soul. Maybe you can see it in my eyes, or maybe more obviously by the rising of my cheeks, or the removal of my shoes when I enter your dome, or my constant desire to breathe you. My constant desire to feel you. It's hard to look at you now and only see me. No longer understanding the anthem of white hairs as an anthem, but rather a lost echo, yet I remain stupidly hopeful, knowing that you may find someone who can provide all that I couldn't. That may substitute my story and carry on their own. I have to let you go. For my sake alone, I've given in. Literally. I've slumped. Surprised internal loneliness has numbed me to the point of seclusion. I lay loveless now, with nothing more real than my memory, bearing my soul to mirrors and reflections of myself in hopes of fully releasing this ache that might have just found a home for a while. Thank you. So, I'm gonna go for a culture one. For me, personally. It is an unfinished piece, so I will end it by to be continued, and then you guys know that that's the end. But it's probably one of my current faves, so I'm really wanting to explore it, so let me know. Disclosure, I'm a Creole babe, so I am from the west sides of Africa, let it be known. Creole babe, it is I. And so this is titled Anya Mai, or Anya Deus, which essentially means, oh my God. Silence is substituted for harmonious wells of sorrows. Ligaments that have found wings, carcasses of the daylight. I'm not there, nor do I want to be, but that's a privilege I get to keep, whilst others count how many members they were able to teeth from what should have never been labeled an exit. We fallen modern slaves to the free world, one full of hawks and eyes that await the ceremonial crowing of our surrenders. How can you be so eager to save and kill all at once? How do you listen to that explanation without thinking of violence as an international language? How do I sit here today and simply battle with my keyboard? Is my freedom really that like wind? Free to sway and escape and make a change, or can I just expect my legacy and the currency of my anatomy? Ay, mi Dios. Still echoes so shakily. Each tremble involuntarily habitant in my habitat. Ay, mi Dios. To be continued.
Father figure. I can walk into any inner sanctum of peace and say glory be to the Father. But why do I have to find it so hard to say glory be to my Father? I mean, they say give honor to the mother and father. But the relationship with my Father has always been like the sun and moon. Polar opposites with dark voids between us, and we keep moving farther, but nothing further from what is biological. I learned that since my youth, with my metaphoric rhetoric, I could only be philosophical, and still that is only further away from the truth. My Adam's apples are pulled from the rotten apples I have to pull. They say bury the hatchet, but I still feel it sharpening every time you talk. So I know the score. The greatest lesson you taught me was there's a time and place for everything. The irony is I learned this from my father in time, but even Cronus was pledged to be that father of time. But I'm still grieving, knowing that clock-tainted hands when father didn't always spend his time is on my mind. Society will stigmatize mental health and say the turbulent child is a byproduct of daddy issues, but never determine the faults of what daddy issued. I am my father's keeper when he says I have to look out for him, when he hurt me deeper. But did he ever know that he'll be a father figure? Some kins amount to being father figures. whilst others are still trying to figure out how to be fathers. If I did everything you asked of me, I would question the road that I would have paved. If I spent all this time building someone else's dream, that would only make me 12 years a slave, and I would be wolf in sheep's clothing. Nothing in my life is how it seems. I've been spending so much time just trying to build your dreams. What would you think if I didn't know about your struggles? How you pertain a vision to fulfill your dreams? I was cut from the same cloth as you, but our divisions were sewn from different lifestyles. Nothing is how it seems. I know your struggles. Your guardians left this earth too early, making you feel like you sailed this earth alone. You felt like God forsaked you, like somehow his love was never set in stone. Crushed aspirations to live the high life like a forever floating kite. Or wishing there wasn't disarray in the family, like blood was never bought out of spite. I mean, no one could relive that, but I would have sympathy if you never went for me. How can a farmer say he sowed his seeds by accident when they only tried to bloom? How can you critique my essence when I barely knew my presence? How can a father question his own son's purpose in the very moments he felt like he was worthless? If you wasn't family, it would hurt less. It's only mystery as to why I didn't verge on death. Your hurt taught me what it means to be a father figure. If I was a father, I figured the destiny your child bears is never forced pretensions of what you configure. Strength never came from pride. Toxic masculinity isn't a mask to hold in pain with anonymity. The controversy you held me as a baby like a trophy. Now I'm no longer gleaming like when I realized I was just a cup for you to water your own kingdom. We both spent our times focusing on the what ifs. But every time I talk about the generational pain, I feel like the curse sits. But it was great to air out these cursed lips. Curses end when love is the last word before we part ways. I hope you live long enough to see Yahweh's before we meet the greatest father, Yahweh. Thank you.
But this poem, he's not even in here. He told me to get up, he's not even in here. That's rude. Someone tell him he's naughty. Right, okay. Yeah, this is kind of where I'm at right now. This poem is called We. We're done with the apologies. Fighting for our worth, our existence to stay relevant. This space is just as much ours as the cabinet doing the same thing it's always done, always was. We take scraps. Expected to say thank you as our history and influence is faded like Cleopatra's skin. We're investing in our fountains, not holding back passion that was never aggressive. Watch us be. Without forcing egos in our nectar, milk and honey flows from our promised land, not for pleasure. We are not for sale. We are more than the box braid fetish you hear louder than our voices. We're on stages, radios, big screens, nowhere our culture will touch. Enough of trying to prove equality, ask for equity to be a right across generations and centuries. Don't you know us? We're poets, activists, producers, singers, your daughters, sisters, godmothers. Legacy of Iman, Harriet Tubman, Grace Jones, from billboards to boardrooms. You'll see us changing the game with a double hand we're dealt, pivoting queen of spades into an ace. Don't try cover us. We'll win for the rest. This is bigger than three. It's about leveling the board for all black girls, endlessly shuffled, unseen, ready to say it again with us. We're done with the apologies. And with just as much to offer the world as bees, you won't make us extinct.
Try and figure those out. I'm looking for a pretty little thing. He's pretty within. He's pretty when I turn him inside out. He's pretty on the inside and out. I want to be able to wear you intimately inside, but show you off when I'm out. I don't mind the worn hemline, or if the seam ain't seamless, because we all need stitching. I'm here to be your needle and thread. So up anything you need, put those insecurities to bed. I mean it. I'm here for whatever you need. I'm here for that no label kind of love. We don't come with handling instruction because we know how to handle ourselves. That's our deep seduction. We don't need that wash at 30 sign. I'm here to watch you until you're 99. But first, gotta make sure you're the right size and that you can play nice. Because although I'm here for the S and M, gotta be sure you're an L. Gotta be sure it's excelling because I like to wear my shit oversized. Because I know that I'm just ripe and I need you to keep being present, whether I'm naughty or nice. Oh yeah, big Santa vibes. I need that Hugo Boss energy. I mean huge and boss energy. I don't have time for a boohoo man. Get myself a man who can do both. Exchanging deep breaths, sighs and heavy panting. Call it Air Forces. But he has me creasing at the seams too, call it Air Forces. Spray me with your scent so everyone knows I'm yours. Like breaking in new bed sheets at the in-laws, be my gentle man. Opening car doors. I'm ready to hang my shit in your wardrobe. Consider this linen all yours. Thank you.
2023. This year, how can I be a better me? To start off, I'm gonna have to better me. Better the better me from last year, cause last year is the last year where things don't work out and this year they last year. Let me start here. Just give me space and you'll see a star here. Birthed so many punchlines cause we raised the bars here. And if you follow the herd, well you can't hear. To better myself, I should get up and quell these thoughts to whence they came. Thou shalt speak some shit one does not usually say. Nah, nay, hold your horses. This year I'm stable. I'm bringing more of me to the table. So you're left with awe. Leave them in awe. Please believe that my throat is sore. Not sore like the sore that you saw in sore, but sore as in flames that I spit a raw. I don't need to roar to prove that I'm sure. I'm building a foundation out of all of my flaws, all of my flows. I don't suppose you know how that goes. I show up to show off, to go off, to shut it down on all of my shows. I guess that it shows. Show and tell. I took the L from the world to focus on the. It's like you took it right out of my mouth. When I write, it comes out of my mouth. How does one bow with no strings attached? My file's too big, it won't let me attach, see. I got a big ego, eating egos at 11, what's the betting? Stranger things might happen. They saw me performing at a junction and thought, shit, we better clap him. His light too bright, it got people jealous. It's like a green lantern, hands turn as time goes on. So long can only feel so long for so long. Am I wrong to not feel right on most nights? Cause those times I close blinds, I know I am not lost but not found either. Learning to breathe like oxygen attached to 2 alcohol in the ether. Had to count my breathing so much that I need a breather. I need a teacher, one who is also there to listen and not just be a speaker. I am the aux cord attached to your speaker, searching for the golden goose up the beanstalk. Someone tell Jack that I can't reach her. But I should shoot my shot as you only get one, right? Learning to walk in my shoes, I 8 miles up, you only get 1 life. I was told to get a life. What's going on in my brain? Never mind. Never bind yourself to something that isn't good for you. They told me I'm too sarcastic. I replied, bro, that is so good for you. Goody 2 shoes, I got new shoes. I am Mushu and the lucky bug. I am Herbie, you heard me. I'm nerdy and flirty. I nearly turned 30, but it is still early. What is the rush? My face is always this red, you're not making me blush. Enough is enough, like Woodzy is poetry. Hand in hand, pen and pad, yeah, it flows with me. Hatched from wood hatch on World Poetry Day, I guess God has been good to me. Bringing me lessons and blessings. I won't tell you my gift is a present. My presence unwrapped as that line is recycled like the paper I used to write this on. No, but seriously, newsflash. Don't add me to another fucking group chat. As of right now, I do not do that. Unless it's an opportunity that's new to me, otherwise I'm gonna have to mute that. True facts. Hey yo, BYOB, where the juice at? Peace out, peace in, I'm Woodzy, thank you so much.
BYOB was my first ever like show, spoken word, open mic, whatever. I came here to support Shaniqua. Actually, she headlined a while ago, and I was really inspired. I was literally just like one of you, just an audience member. I was so inspired that I went home, wrote something, and performed at the next open mic. And then I loved it, and I just kept doing it, and now I've been invited back as a headliner, and it's like I'm coming full circle, so this is big for me, so thank you guys. Yeah, so I want to shout out to Shaniqua, who's been my mentor, and also Woodzy, who's been a mentor of mine as well throughout my journey. So yeah, let me just get into the poetry now. Are you ready, guys? Alright, so I'm gonna start off with a piece that I've done quite a few times before. I really didn't know what to write one day, so I was just like, let me just start with the line, return to the stage, and I kind of free wrote, and this is what I came up with. Return to the stage. Took a lot for me to make the return to the page. Energy's been depleted, had to burn me some sage. And my funds have been receding, need to find a new wage. Lately things are losing meaning, need to find a new craze. And what's the point of online dating if no one's finding a babe? Yeah, people feel that one. Got some wounds that are healing. This is all an escape. This is art for this era. You might find it in tape. Ain't talking Luna, but legacy is why I pick up my pen. I'm here for one night only. You might not find me again. I keep a close eye on my circle and the time that I spend. Now I'm rhyming again. And it's hard to believe that we're vibing again. And my toes are on 10, got to impress straight facts. Man, they're surprised when they see me disseminate eloquence, think that I can't cause I'm black. More times I sit on my own and just business my mind, but these haters, they come on attack. I just sit back and watch all the folly. Gotta take time, cause I just saw the shape of her body. Sorry. Let me show you some respect. Cause I know I can do better. Gifted with a plethora of words, and that's how I appreciate it. Let me reiterate. Man, listen closely. Do better when you're complimenting women. Yeah, I hear that. She's more than just her form and her shape. More than the attributes gifted to her when she was born, because you see there's depth behind those eyes. That contagious smile. Those lips that bring inspiration to your life. She wants to better me so I can be a better me. So I'd better be a better me than I've ever been. Bring evergreens and positive energy to her destiny. It's meant to be a synergy to bring the best from me. I'll set the scene. Soliloquies, symphonies, create vivid imagery coupled with delivery, hitting me bittersweet, but I'll keep this brief. Because you see, time waits for no one. So you've got to carpe diem, don't half play DMs. Believe in your, yeah. So you've got to carpe diem, don't half play DMs. Believe in your source and stick it on them like 3M, but believe them. When they say they only want to be friends, I'm lost here. Lately I've been drowning in the deep end, don't pretend to understand the pain that they're feeling. She's calling Marvin Gaye for the wrong kind of healing, there's meaning. You feeling that? She's calling Marvin Gaye for the wrong kind of healing, there's meaning in the words that you're hearing this evening. And on a side note, I'm tired of parents premature grieving, you're reeling. The thought of being single's relieving. That's why you're catching flights and not feelings, but just wait your turn. Mistakes made, bridges burn. I'm not bait, but I get the worm. Play with fire, you might get burned. Don't forget, we've all made mistakes. Don't be selfish, life is give and take. Your family's starving, share what's on your plate. You step to me, you get a special like Chris. But for now, it is what it is. Thank you. Thank you. I'm kind of making up my set as I go along, so I'm going to change the tone a little bit. The next piece that I'm going to do is a piece that requires a little bit of judgment from you guys. Is that okay? Yeah? Alright. It is titled, It Is Hidden. They asked me what's the matter, I said Black Lives. Alright, the title is It Is Hidden. They asked me what's the matter, I said Black Lives. Turned hatred into fire, we've been baptized. They're only getting jealous because I'm that guy. Turn my brothers to my ops because they are that sly. So as I move, I've got the ting on me. It's always on me. But I don't want anyone to know. So I keep it concealed, tucked under my clothing. 9 inches of strength that I equip to my arsenal, on top of the other inches. Steady, steady. I tell myself it's here for protection. Only use it at my discretion because I know people see it as a weapon. But I only use it when distributing lessons. Its essence brings about fear and reverence, but in the correct hands it can be a blessing. An instrument of war, and I'm not talking Tekken, no Smith and Wesson, but its use will send you to heaven, so I keep it hidden. A double-edged sword for your belligerence. I've seen its use on the news, and it's precipitous. If I let this thing enter you, it's quite invasive. It might just change your views. It's perspicacious yet quite persuasive. Only blasphemers can really hate this. Only blasphemers can really hate this. The way it changed my life, boy, it's amazing. This tool is quite divine. Just want to let it shine. But if I do, I will only feed into the stereotypes. So as the law says, I keep it hidden. But is that the reason? The reason why Karen hates me, they smile fakely, and the system wants to take me back to slavery. You have the ego of a puff pastry if the image of me and... You have the ego of a puff pastry if the image of me in an 8-speed Mercedes still grinds your gears. See, I know there's potency in my pigment. And I'm not just speaking to my kindred when I say that I am not a threat. Yet I'm still viewed that way. My dad told me to never walk around with my hood up because I'll be targeted. Viewed in a particular way. So even on rainy days with my white friends, I would heed this warning. But do you think much changed? So instead, picture this. A young melanated example of excellence adorned in a freshly fitted suit, clean boots, fresh trim and healthy roots, steps out of a 40-grand car to visit Tesco's. All he wants is a quick snack. I'm talking a Kit Kat or maybe a Freddo. A shady figure in the corner of his eye never lets go. Security watching his every move. Don't take offense though. He's just doing his job. But clearly ignorance is blind. Why would I risk my freedom over £2.35? And that experience taught me a lesson. No matter how much I dress up, people are ready to dress me down. So can you blame me if I keep it hidden? I drive through the valley of the shadow of death, yet I fear no evil, because I've got it on me. As I navigate my ways through the ends, I remain conscious of the bias against me. Like a church girl on Instagram, I maintain a low profile. Some people felt that on a bit too much. What's going on? Like a church girl on Instagram, I maintain a low profile. I don't smile, I don't frown, I keep my face docile. I just mind my business, stick to the speed limits. Yet I see a car in my rear view looking suspicious. So I make a right turn, and it follows me. I make another right turn, and it follows me. Another right turn, and it's still following me. At this point, I'm quite perturbed. It's kind of worrying. Then I see the lights. Ash, here we go again. Same old blue story. I've done nothing wrong, but they asked me to step out the car. Wanted to see my license. Talking about this kind of car gets stolen a lot, so we need to check a few things. I don't have time for the drama, so I just hand it over. And while that's happening, the other one quotes some rule about stop and search, hoping to find something incriminating. But I remember, I've still got it on me. I kept it hidden, but that won't stop these guys. I just hope he doesn't find it. He reaches my pocket, feels a suspicious object. My heart sinks. I know he's found. Waving the ting, he says, "You must be one of them." I say nothing. He says, "Are you affiliated?" I say, "What?" He says, to that gang. I say, what gang? He says, those Christians, as he waves my Bible around. I guess I couldn't keep it hidden. But then again, am I meant to? Thank you. Thank you. Just a quick survey. How many people kind of saw it going in that direction? Yeah? Oh, a couple. I got some smart people in the room. Yeah, no, so that one was just like a whole, I was trying to play around with like the whole judgment piece. Trying to take you one direction and then obviously back the other way. Alright, let me lift up the mood a little bit more now. That was quite heavy. So, actually, alright, this is a new piece. Are we good with some new stuff? Alright, this is a new piece then. There is no theme. There's no, like, actually no, there is a theme. The theme is like me trying to travel and just explore the world. So I just wrote this piece, kind of free wrote, and I haven't got a title, so if you come up with one, shout it out at the end of the piece. I have a dream. Because I am a categoric dreamer. Yet I'm living to afford a life I don't live. A life unlived is a life wasted. And lately I've been trying to live, but there's a lot I've been faced with. Like, what the heck is national insurance contributions? Yeah, people. Wait. I don't care much about benefiting kind, see, I benefit when I'm kind. Yeah, I'm not trying to let my pay slip. I find the courage to put my salary on the table, then in comes tax to cripple my pension. Yeah, I still pen with a vision. I find the right angles like Wall Street, so when that margin calls, I'll take my share. I stay invested in my stock, but when will this dividend? The stresses of life constantly fill my head, so it's required that I take a step back from life sometimes. Take a step back from the hype sometimes. Step away from the love and the light sometimes, just to remind myself that I have a dream. One where color means more than other. One where TikTok isn't at one with the gutter. One where George Floyd didn't have to suffer. I miss those dreams I dreamt when I was younger. Cause bro, these days, life is techie. Regardless of the country you're from. Man them rushing to get out of the hood, but their dreams Netherland. Yeah, you got that one, yeah? Yeah. There's no way you can tell me you're safe. All this grease on the pavement, but you won't catch me slipping. I just mind my business and sip my Fiji water. But some people have it a lot harder. Men in Warsaw, cities burn, and Helsinki. Politics get chilly on the road, but don't let that ice land. Keep dreaming. Watch those skies clear and see Buenos Aires. Now this is a Kingston, and everyone has a chance to do better. Yeah? This is a Kingston, and everyone has a chance to do better. That's why I sing and pour my heart out. So now I'm doubling down on my dreams. As I roam the ends, I'm hungry. My stomach is in Spain, but the S is silent. Destined for greatness, but perceived as just a guy and a foreigner. Little did they know, man's cultured. A veces necesito tomarme tiempo para mi salud. A veces necesito tomarme tiempo para mi salud. Porque muchos gentes son tontos. Don't translate. Translated loosely, because we have a Spanish speaker in the house, it means sometimes I need to take time for my health, but there are so many people that are just stupid. Weishema. Wo bujudal. Wo shuheise danshu wo haishurin. I'm looking at her because she also speaks Mandarin, so. But that loosely translated means why? I don't understand. Yes, I'm black, but I'm still human. Got people asking, Okay, bro. Of course I am. Of course I am. I ran far from the Haiti. And it's really Sweden the way I look at life. Now every time I bar rain, I know it's real. My dream isn't in vain. There's so much more for me to see. I don't need a passport, I don't need to be a passport bro to passports though. I won't allow Brexit to break my spirit. I apply for those visas and let that Airbus lift my baggage to new airways. TFL could never. In this moment, right now, we're all breathing. That's a gift in itself. Don't let work be the reason your dreams don't live. But for now, what can I say? It is what it is. Thank you. How many? 1, 2? Okay. I actually don't know what to do now. Say it? That feels right. Okay. Do the Marvel one. I was gonna say I'll end on that. Right? So that's the Marvel one. Alright, so I'll give you guys a choice, how about that? Alright, so I've got one poem entitled As a Man. Yeah. Alright, okay. It's for me. Alright, so this piece was, I wrote it kind of as a love poem to, not love, like a self-help poem to guys, because I never really heard any poetry written about guys. So I challenged myself to write one. There's a bit of slaying of guys as well, but it's mainly like picking on guys. Cool. You are regal. I've said it before, but this right here is the sequel. You are a king. A man made in God's image, formed by his own hands, and important enough for him to kneel down and give you CPR as he breathed that breath of life. So remember that. Remember those words the next time you hear men are trash. It's like they're Bobby Schmurder the way they're dashing cats. Know that, own that, come and take your throne back. Unapologetic, do not hold back. Throwback, Ed, and Eddie, that was cold act. Shows that simple times existed before phones and Twitter fingers pulled on the strings of these clones, and Mandan didn't run through the six with their woes, and people with a different view were never really hated. And work didn't constitute another form of slavery. I'm not complaining. I'm just here to paint a picture. So listen close. I don't want this stuff to miss you. As a man, you don't need a gun for respect. As a man, it's okay for your beard to not connect. As a man, yeah. You'll connect, man. This is for us. This is for us. All beards matter. Yes, all beards matter. Thank you. As a man, you don't need a gun for respect. As a man, it's okay for your beard to not connect. As a man, check the ground before your seed is sown. As a man, you're allowed to show your emotion. As a man, know that you're the captain of the ship. As a man, give advice, but just a tip. As a man, as a man, make sure that you speak with your chest. As a man, it's okay to not know what's coming next. As a man, know that your life won't be simple. Be careful of that cute girl with the cute smiles and the dimples. As an alpha male, don't just leave your life up to fate. As a man, don't rely on Andrew Tate. From where? As an alpha male, don't just leave your life up to fate. As a man, don't just rely on Andrew Tate. Now, what do you bring to the table? Other than wearing fake drip and laying mediocre cable. I did say it was a bit of slang. Do something productive with your life. Be considerate, be careful, be kind, be friendly, but most of all, learn to filter out all the noise. In the end, we've all got each other, because we them boys. Thank you. And I will end on this highly requested piece called Comic Relief. But before I do that, thank you everyone that's come out to support. This actually means so much to me. Thank you all the BYOB staff for for putting on such a sick event. Can we just give a round of applause to the BYOB? And if you are in the audience and you write poetry, think about coming to an open mic night and performing. Genuinely, it's one of the most rewarding experiences, for real. I've been Humble Shaun. You can find me on Instagram, Humble SHAUN, and I'm going to end on this piece. Disclaimer: it's a big joke. It's just one big joke again. Do we have any Marvel fans in the room? Yeah. DC fans? Yeah, okay, cool. So this piece has like Marvel and DC references littered throughout. So if you get any of them, I want to hear some clicks. And yeah, let's just do it. I woke up feeling uneasy. Spirit unsettled, mind running wild, and I'm pretty sure I had a nightmare about unripe plantain. Like I said, it's one big joke. I reached my water bottle. Took a few sips to drench my parched throat. It helped, but it didn't do much to stop the fever. So I decided to get some help with my symptoms. I went to my doctor. He said what I described was strange. He had to sit back and marvel. He let his mind wander. Yeah. So I said, "Doctor, what's wrong?" He said, "It's probably your iron, man. This winter and you've been a soldier, so it's time to step up. Gotta stay off that Uncle Ben's rice. Get you some real nutrients. I'm a bit of a daredevil, so I pushed my luck. But nothing could shield me from his fury. So I say, Nick, I thought of a new banner for this." He said, "Pray tell." With a fire in my belly like a wick and a clenched fist, I said, "I'll do better." I asked for this to stay private. He said, "Don't worry, I'll keep this low key." Then he gave me a prescription and sent me on my way. And on my way out, I saw my boy on the road. Just came back from DC. 8 years went by in a flash. He said my new hair makes me look like a Martian. I called him a joker. He then proceeded to inquire about my girl. Recalled that she was a wonder of a woman. I told him that's my ex, man. He asked me why I'm so serious. I told him she's been the bane of my existence, molded by the darkness. He said, "Bro, are you doing these comic references on purpose?" I got vexed at this. With my head hot, I said, "Fam, you've hardly been riding for me, so let's keep this quinn." You've hardly been riding for me, so let's keep this quinn. I had to Batman in the face. But on my way out, I started thinking, maybe he's got a point. Nah, he's just trying to antagonize me. Words buzzing in my ear. As I got home, I put my keys in the door. What just happened? I'm not really sure. As I stood there in awe, I thought on what transpired to me. I got loose screws like I'm standing. Thank you.
Alright, so I haven't done this for about like 2 years, so please be nice. Okay, so this piece is called Lacing Up My Armor. Alright, so lacing up my armor. I'm warming up my throat today and I feel like I'm lacing up my armor. I feel as though I'm off to fight the dragons that yet befriend them. I'm trying to teach poetry in school districts that only know how to starve. I'm trying to show my students who don't know how to spell how to write their names in anything but blood. I'm trying to give and foster forgiveness in a body that wants none of it. Started challenging people's expectations of me instead of becoming who they need me to be. But sometimes I'm not sure who I am, so clouded by judgments. What I do know is that I'm a writer, a poet. I cut open the minutes and pour poetry inside them, trying to immortalize the seconds as I hear the stories in silence. Sometimes I listen to the poetry of the earth,
And when madness rides on moonlight, I give the poetry I have back to the universe. And sometimes we are the poetry of the earth. We talk rainbows and our words weep with unchained melodies. We hide beneath the lonely layers of the night because in the darkness our fire glows. We are infinity trapped inside a body. They said don't let your voices be tamed. So we became lions, kings and queens, and perhaps we should love ourselves so fiercely that when others see us, they know exactly how it should be done.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna do one more, and this one is called I Am Words. I'm a bit too tall. Okay. So this is I Am Words, just as powerful. She said, I can see them green with envy, clean the sidelines. You see, it's easy to say when they're looking from the outside, and it's their choice to remain on the onlooker on the outline. Scars and broken jars, she's now burned to a 3rd degree, closed off like a murder scene, emotions that were blurred to me. Now personally, I'm not trying to be tamed, cuffed or stuck like a prison sentence. What's his intentions? He's always telling me something that I'd never buy. No one's so assured as he is. Now this is becoming tedious. Hating on him religiously, afraid to have a reason, like you know him, never know he's decent, know his drama, know his people. She would sing old R&B love songs all day long until the stories became her own. She spent her days wondering about the scenarios with him until the changes were outstanding, changing like people in crowds. Rebound to the ground, she offered her heart like a blank canvas for him to paint on, with every emotion he can think of, and even when the ink was harsh, she would be real. And even if the paintbrush was sharp, she would heal. He said it will never be a big deal, now that's something you, her, and me feel. As humans, we begin hurting when those curtains of our vulnerability can no longer be closed. You see, I am words. And you can never get rid of me, because while they use me for a way out or a way in, I begin to believe in a world of wonder. I'm universally spoken. I'm a tongue that's unbroken. Imagine at the core of the earth, music melts within, and I mean after all, even inside our heads, there's rhythm within. So where do I begin?
So the piece is called I Just Want to Feel Something. I just want to feel something. I feel nothing when I experience anything, and it's not that I hate my life. It just feels like something ain't right because nothing seems to excite me. Not much seems to affect me. I just want to feel something. I can't feel heartbreak when there's no love lost. I can't feel lonely when I'm used to being on my own, no expectations for you to stay around. I can't feel disappointed without expecting a thing. I can't feel let down without trusting to be picked up. Now that's what's up, the truth is tough. I just wanna feel something, but I feel nothing. And it's not that I hate my life, but it just doesn't feel like it's mine. I'm an imposter in my own skin. I don't know what world I'm living in, but if I had to describe my everyday, it's like an out-of-body experience. And I know that sounds slightly sinister, but I'm just not sure where I left me. And sometimes I think, could it be because I'm sober now? Alcohol had me feeling things that's impossible now, I'm sober now. Put the bottle down 7 months ago, but I'm not sure if I feel better for it, that's the truth. And it's not that I had a problem with it, just wanted to make wiser decisions, but sobriety got me feeling different. Put the bottle down to feel more, but instead I feel nothing at all, but maybe the two aren't related, but still my world feels shaded. Colour gone, I'm standing waiting for the sun to make an appearance, I just want to feel something. And that's not an invitation for something bad to happen. I just want to feel love and know that I can be in it. I just want to feel close to those that don't have questionable intentions. I just want to feel fulfilled with gratitude for the fruit of my labor. I just want to feel something. Tell me, do you feel something? Show me how to feel something. Anything. Because right now I feel nothing. Thank you.
The most magical words to me right now are fuck right off. It's resonating with my soul and it's making it sing, and I don't feel a compulsion to say sorry because I can't deny the way that it rings. I love it, and I will say it 1,000 times more. The people in my life are a small hand-picked circle, and I'm happy to show you the door. Fuck right off. Fuck right off. I just can't get enough. So that's that one. In contrast, this one is a lot more lovey, and basically I asked quite a few of my good friends to send me a list of the things they like to do most, because I wanted to spend some more intentional time with them and just, that quality time. So this is about that. I want a recipe book on how to love you. Let me know exactly the ingredients I need to put in to make you rise, flourish, and be delicious. I want to savor moments and be intentional. I don't want to teeter on the edge. I want to fall into crafting the most beautiful and rich life with you. Claim our power and paint the world with us. With textured paint of not properly mixed colour, purposely messy and experiential. Fall deeper into this life, where laughter creates a heaven and roars over the bullshit, and when we slip, we laugh louder, prouder of the clangs and clatters, not clinging on to mindless chatter, but the loud silence, laughing with us all the way to eternity. And that's that.
Seas bare to see me bare. Flowing back to where I first aired, I saw, glide, and raise myself from sinking below the crashing of these waves until, whoosh, they unveil, and I set sail. But I gotta stay ready. The sadness that I once held clear, near, maybe I should just disappear. Fears fade, the more I swim, tears begin to blend themselves into the compass around me, unrecognizable. I lose track of which are mine until I realize the tide has risen. They flow against me and with me, play and join me. Until the wind takes them away from me, my back a boat, my face a mirror, bouncing back father's rays, we communicate the weight. My gears change, the royals stare down till they see me wave close. They know I'm late. Thank you. All right. Question, do you guys want me to go, or do you want me to go like, okay. I'm obviously not gonna do, so this one is passionate, but by passionate I mean very, so this is called I Wasn't Born Here. I wasn't born here. Barely thought I would stay here, but like the city you see today, I've grown here. Seen it at its lows, lifted through my blow. We're gonna rewind. I wasn't born here. Barely thought I would stay here, but like the city you see today, I've grown here. Seen it at its lows, lived it through my bros, black men in these roads. Hey, yo, did you hear so-and-so just entered our terms? Nerves really were for little boys, weren't they? Now remember, I wasn't born here. So I saw no evil, heard no evil, and said no evil, but the way my male cousins would congregate to speak of their day, in the living room, our grandmother managed to make a third bedroom, it was clear. That styrofoam bullets would soon turn to the reason why their heads could no longer bend, turn to lead. Soon enough, their childhoods, the gross copper bladed, soft steel that will encase an innocence I would never see again. We're in our 20s now. One with child, two in business, and one waiting on a lesson, and I still get reminded that I wasn't born here. Years have gone by now, and I've tried to not pay attention to my family's disappointment in how the lives of these black men have turned out, but they are only the minute characters to a wider story from what I've noticed here, because don't forget, I wasn't born here. One narrated by men who clown our lives, make decisions like flies, and lie just to suffice their quote-unquote right in this makeshift bourgeoisie we've managed to call life for their benefit. Pigs do fly. They mustn't ignore that stories told in my grandmother's living room or a manufacturing of their lack of love for our neighborhoods. Let me take you around this map. Built in the walls of Manor House in Stamford Hill, up the road from Seven Sisters, where underground trains didn't look like apple-fired caterpillars. Whilst the trains remained untouched by magicians, our transports began providing escapism, spaceships to dystopian cities, no longer wanting to inhabit in our own lands, but rather dream of lives beyond it. But you see, it's not all stations. The view in front of Dalston Kingsland still looks very refreshing. To me, it didn't try to fit in, but rather claimed a forceful stance in front of many of our imams, saying to the homes that never sheltered our bums simply because not all of us can afford to live by an M&S next to a station overlooking the London Eye from a distance. That regal living is still alive and kicking. It's human, it's culture, it's home to many like me who weren't born here. It took me a while to understand what I feel here. And it began with confusion as to why I began seeing less people like me and my grandmother and my girls and their mothers, or my classmates and their family members, and if we all just decided to go into hiding. Harmoniously understanding that gentrification here sadly wasn't for our benefit, as many who were born here just seemed to have accumulated in homes near game shops, in homes that tried to look at the London Eye from a distance, in a one-studio apartment on the 4th floor of a building next to the train station. Or in more touchy subjects, intercrowded 30-store buildings with no regular fire checks and building repairs or prayers go to the Grenfell Towers that is still quote-unquote looking to be repaired. Youth clubs, now co-ops, except they forgot to co-op. Community gardens in polluted areas, communicating that no matter the consumption, we may still not live as long as we seek to, because if we dare consume what we have planted, we may just drive ourselves into insanity. But once again, I wasn't born here. So it took me a while to digest the anger that I feel here, because where's the choice? Where's the options? Where is the quality? Let me not even get angry, because I'm not an angry person, but if I unleashed maybe I'll be reduced to an angry version of my bloodline, so maybe I won't. So I'll just take this time to remind you that I wasn't born here. Once again, I'm just a dove that flew in with a message. And this is what frustrates me, because if I wasn't born here and I feel this much, enough to cause my pen to break and igniting a flame, why doesn't your voice do the same in the acts for change, forcing communities to do it for you and drain you out in vain? But I'll leave this piece here open here today so I can welcome any positive change that may shift my vexation to satisfaction to live in here. We're just in too deep now. I guess I do live here. Thank you.
Some films for you before we leave tonight. Before we do that, I would ask if you're comfortable enough with this, can you just close your eyes for a second? Just breathe in and breathe out. Thank you. You can open your eyes. How deep did we plant the feet of those who call this place home? I heard the old doctors rubbed earth on heels and herbs on lips to teach babies the feel and the taste of home. I want to travel till my lungs forget the smell of where I'm from. To go where my heart feels it needs to change its rhythm. I want to get there one day and learn to smile like new people of old. Do you think it's possible to travel far enough to no longer be a stranger? I've met people on planes, on boats, on buses, who I could have sworn were the same fruit of my mother. Do you think home reappears where the horizon lifts off? Whenever I find I've gone so far as to call the eyes of strangers, or to see smiles that are unfamiliar, or to long for hugs and have nowhere to plant mine, I have learned what to do. I find a field or a garden or a forest. I bare my feet like a confession and let them dig their space in the earth. I'll reach for a leaf that offers itself and invites the bitter to my lips. I'll savor the grit and the taste till home finds its way back into my soul. Thank you. One more. If I could say a prayer that I believe in, it would be short, a line or two, a non-request kind of prayer. I don't think anyone gets what we ask for. So I'll pray under my breath and dedicate so much of me to seeming innocent. I'll pray using the voice in my head so as not to bother anyone. Like making sure my words aren't misconstrued as violence. I'll pray with all the hope I can muster and quiet the doubts that I believe in. This prayer will be a blessing, a statement of good to someone or someplace. I'll tell them to be happy, to enjoy good, to listen to music. I'll tell them how beautiful they are. This prayer will be theirs to keep and cherish. This is the kind I know works. Those prayers that make others smile. Thank you.